Good morning. I know that I did not set up a pre-warning on this that I was going live, but I'm going to be saving this so you can go back to watch it. Hello. I'm just doing a quick live video to talk about my stitch along. So this will be part one, but this is just about preparation. And so, hi everybody who's joined. I'm going to be doing a stitch along for this on Instagram because Instagram lets you save the lives. So if you would like to stitch this with me, I got a lot of light this morning. We're going to be learning like some turkey work, the basket weave. We have our satin stitch, some beading, which the beads are like my favorite part. And this is the first pattern that I've released that has beading. So we're going to be stitching this live, and then if you can't join my lives, you can go back and watch them later. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about how to prepare. So if you end up getting my pattern, you will get a paper that looks like this, or a digital file. My digital pattern is up and you can purchase that. It'll tell you all the things that you need to get, all the supplies, and this is scaled for a 5-inch embroidery hoop. I also have a kit available, so if you want to get the whole kit, then it has everything that you need. And I'm just going to show you here one of the ways that we can get started. So I'm going to turn this around. I have a few projects going on at once, and so I had the idea this morning. I'm like, I'm going to keep all my current works in progress, all these loose threads in these cute little ball jars. So I'm using 6-strand DMC embroidery floss, and I will have all the colors listed in the pattern that you need if you get the digital file or the kit. And then you will have this pattern that I'm going to show you how to trace. So if you get a digital file, you can just trace it on the iPad or you can print it off. The nice thing about the digital file too is that you can choose the size you want it to be. So you can resize this however if you want to do it bigger than a 5-inch. Part of the reason I scaled down to a 5-inch, I liked the size. But I was trying to finish this pattern and I realized that when I had bigger than 5-inch, it really does take a long time to do the satin stitch. So if you'd like it to take a little bit longer and spend more time on it, you can get the digital file and you can either print this out bigger, or you can just copy it on an iPad or light screen in a larger size. You can zoom in, and you could also do it on a 6-inch. But for our purposes here, we're going to do 5-inch. So I'm going to spin this around. Please ignore my junky landscape right now. But we have a lot of sunshine this morning. And so I'm just going to show you in this first live one of the things you can do to transfer your pattern. So here's my traceable pattern page. And I'm literally just gonna tape it to my window. I literally, like when I was a kid, I was really obsessed with, I wanted to feel like an artist. And so I remember I used to like pause the TV and try to trace whatever was on the screen. And so this is a similar concept. I'm gonna drop this down real quick. And we're going to put this in the hoop. So here's you need about a 7-inch square of fabric. So I'm going to do a 7-inch square of fabric. I'm going to lay it in here. And we're going to put this in first before we start tracing. So you could either tape the fabric to your traceable pattern, or you can stick it in here first. And for the sake of this video, we're going to stick it in here first. So I like to keep the outside of my hoop just barely bigger than the inside. And once you snap it in there, it's pretty flat here, as you can see. but you want to tug it, make sure it's pretty tight in there. Don't stretch the fabric too much. And then we're going to raise it up. And here's our traceable pattern. And like this is the side that I would normally stitch on, but while we're tracing, we're going to flip it over. See how it fits perfectly on here. And we have lots of light today, so this works so much, well, not better than on a screen, but this is my preference for tracing. I'd rather trace on a window with sunlight. I'm taking my Friction heat erasing pen, so when I'm done, I'll be able to use a blow dryer or iron to erase my lines. So if they're not perfect, that will be okay. And if you need some of these, they come in the kit, or you can purchase these on my site. And so I'm just gonna stick, see, here's my lip of I'm gonna stick the flat side down on this surface, and I'm just gonna trace this. So. And this honestly works so nicely when you have a lot of light. I'm hoping I can see comments, but did anybody have any questions about this? I'm going to try to set a date here for next week to do the lives on the actual stitches. Today I'm not doing any stitching on this, I'm just prepping the hoop. Ooh. We want our lines to be pretty steady and clear for these when we do the satin stitch on the pumpkins. But you're just going to go ahead. I'm probably not going to trace this whole thing on the live, because that might take a while. Now, they also have, they have white heat erasing pens I've gotten on Amazon before. So you could do this pattern also on a dark fabric, which would be so lovely. I think I might do a version of this also on navy. And there are water-soluble pencils as well that you can get in white. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm just going to stop here for a second and show you. So once you have, just for the sake of time, because this video is going to be saved, I don't want you to have 20 minutes of me tracing this. So once you are done tracing, if this is something that you haven't done very much, you're going to pop your hoop open again, okay? And we're going to flip our page around, our fabric around. So you'll want to line it up. You always want like 1 inch to 1.5 inches extra fabric beyond your hoop. So this is a 7-inch square of fabric for a 5-inch hoop. And I'm sorry that I don't know my metric measurements. So I like to just unscrew this just enough to get it over so it starts out tight. Now you can see down here that there's a little bit of bunching. You do not want that when you are stitching. So you want to give it a little tug around the outside. If you pull too hard, they are going to pop apart. And if you don't like the placement, just pop it back out. Even up to the end of our stitching, you can always take it out, reposition it however you want. But you just want to make sure that there's no ripples. And you want this to be pretty tight. You hear how you can you hear that? It kind of sounds like a drum. So you want it to be tight enough that you can hear that like a drum. And then at the top, you're going to tighten it up. And I can only tighten these so much with my fingers. Sometimes if you grab the sides and pinch, you can pinch it harder or turn it harder. But I recommend you keep screwdrivers around. This one has a Phillips head. So you want to tighten that up nice and tight. To have nice even stitching, you want this to be tight in the hoop. You do not want it to be all bunched up. So I just wanted to pop on to give some ideas of how you'll prepare this and get ready to stitch this, and some of the tricks and tips as you're starting out. So this is what we're going to be making. If you would like to follow along, this is on my website. You can get the digital pattern or you can get the kit. And I will be doing lives that will be recorded, so you can go back and watch them later. They will be on my Instagram. See, once I tightened it, I had a few more little ripples. The sunlight helps to see those. So you pull those to even it out. You're going to trace that pattern, and then we'll be all ready to stitch. So check back for more of my lives if you're interested, and we'll have a whole series for my harvest pattern. Thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you again soon.